My friend, be the liberated flow of infinite energy now. This moment is a volcanic supernova of omnijaculatory infinite energy. Your energy comes from an infinite source. It is here now. This moment is an inferno of infinite energy. It's so intense that as human beings, we build walls that keep it out. And we pour a lot of our energy into maintaining those walls because to truly open to this infinite field of energy that is here would be too intense. We might just burst into flames. If you even open this up 1% with plant medicine or meditation or something like this, you can start to get a taste of what I mean. You can realize, wow, we are in a hyper furnace of infinite, gargantuan stores of bottomless energy erupting, effulging, geyser-like at all times. And so the process of freedom, the process of returning to our natural state is in many ways a resensitization, a reopening to this liberated flow of energy and learning how to become this liberated flow of energy because being the river non-separately, being the whole river flowing effortlessly in wholeness as this liberated flow of energy feels so much more natural, so much more like being at home than pretending to be a kind of separate wave on this river who's kind of apart from the river and watching the river and pouring a lot of energy into maintaining these identity structures that create a sense of separation with the river. So that's something to realize is that your identities are sapping a large amount of your energy. There's nothing inherently wrong with identities. It's very natural to create identities as human beings. We've been deeply conditioned to create identities. We probably needed to create many identities in our life as kind of a fundamental mechanism for providing a sense of safety, stability, meaning, tribal belonging, and self-worth. A lot of people have a lot of their self-worth invested in their identities. But what you want to start to realize is that when you've invested so much in these identities, when there's this great big lattice work of identities and belief systems, political affiliations, religious affiliations, where if someone pokes that identity, you are deeply triggered, like feel deeply threatened, then that is a signal that your life, your reality, your world is being propped up by this lattice work of identities. It's reliant upon this lattice work in a great sense. And you are therefore investing huge amounts of energy into just simply maintaining this lattice work of identity and belief system. And that's probably not leaving you with a whole lot of energy for pure creativity, pure childlike joy, pure dancingness of life energy, pure being the liberated flow of life energy. And so that is where dissolving identities, discovering what is beyond identities, discovering a sense of worthiness and innate wholeness that is not dependent upon identity can be an absolutely massive liberator of your energy, an absolutely massive liberator of your energy. And how do you do that? Well, there are many ways. In many ways, all the great spiritual practices point toward this. The most direct path, perhaps, is just simply to start noticing right now what you are beyond identity and resting as that. Relinquish all definitions of yourself and of the world and just practice being with pure nowness, here and now, as a blank slate, as a wholeness prior to identities, prior to definitions, prior to interpretations. Be with it as a primordial continuum of energy, a direct energy presence. And don't get hung up on the word energy here. It's just a way of gesturing towards something that cannot be said. Essentially, I'm encouraging you to drop words altogether, to cease to apply words to whatever this direct presence of life stuff is around you, and to allow it to become like a hot bath in undefined wholeness, a sinking into a cozy immersion in undefined wholeness, undefined silence, rest as silence. Play with this, approach this playfully. This doesn't have to be a big serious practice. It's it's kind of like those pictures where you look at it one way and it looks like a duck, and you switch and look at it another way and it looks like a rabbit. It's like that, but it's substantially more extreme than that. It's like one moment you can feel like a small, bounded, limited human being with this endless to-do list on this long, difficult journey through a hostile universe where you're jumping through 8,000 hoops to try to finally achieve something and be successful. One moment you're locked into that entire game, that entire frame, that entire reality tunnel. The next moment, you just flip a switch, and again, it's literally as simple as shifting from seeing the duck to seeing the bunny. Suddenly, instead of all that, you're just being here with what is actually here in this moment. You're here with just the pure sensation of now, a pure immersion in what is actually viscerally present, what you are actually experiencing. You're starting to notice that all you ever have to deal with is what you are immediately experiencing now. I don't see the past anywhere, do you? I don't see the future anywhere, do you? It's always right now. Right now is all that you ever experience, all you ever have to deal with, and it's already done. Do you notice that? It's like it's a done deal before you can even cognize it, conceptualize it. It's already here. It shows up like an instantaneous flash. It's a done deal. So it's doing itself in this profound sense. And you can begin to notice this when you simply cease to apply definitions to it. This is the great trick. Cease to apply labels to it, cease to apply words, definitions, ideas, concepts, ideologies, belief systems. Let all of that go. All of that is a mental construct, a cognitive construct. Nothing wrong with it. It's a valuable, pragmatic device, but for the direct path of realizing yourself as immediate wholeness, realizing yourself as a liberated flow of being that is completely beyond all identities, this is one of the most direct practices. Simply playfully shift at any moment from seeing the duck to seeing the rabbit, from seeing this big complicated world of separation where you're a small me trying to run through this big obstacle course to just simply, hey, what is actually here now? What is experience in the absence of labels? And be with this field of nowness as a pure, undefined wholeness. Rest there. By hook or by crook, as Peter Brown would say, find any means of accessing this. Find any access point that works for you. Find any practice, any mantra, any author, any access point, any video maker who is able to help you flip this switch. And at any moment, play with that. Go to that access point, flip into pure presence. Notice how enormous complexity collapses down to the purest simplicity. What could be simpler than now is all I am experiencing? Now is all that I ever experience. All I have to deal with is now, and now is already done. Now has already done itself. Now is already accomplished. So, nothing to do, no one to be, nowhere to go, nothing to know. Nowness, rest, completion, wholeness, unconditioned, unknown love. This wholeness gives off an innate primal quality of total allowing, and even beyond that, an inferno of grace, of love can open as well as you relinquish your ideas of what this is, as you cease to place it in such tightly grasped boxes of what it is and has to be, as you cease to give so much energy to that boxing process, trying to box it into these identities and encase yourself in these identities, it's a narrowing process. You shift that to an opening process, an opening process. You're opening to infinity. You're opening to wholeness. You're opening to boundless possibility. And then this can start to show you what it is. Nowness, immediacy, wholeness, life can start to show you what it is in a whole new way, and not in a way that pins anything down, but in a way that opens everything up, opens into intimacy and more intimacy and greater richness and richness and richness, where there's no final verdict, there's no final answer, there's no box anything can be placed in. Everything is revealed as an infinite-sided jewel that is forever blossoming like lotus flowers within lotus flowers, revealing more of its freshness, more of its newness, every moment, and never before seen artwork from the heart of infinite imagination right here and now. Everything is like that, and any specific aspect that you dial in on is also like that. If I look at my daughter, she's also like that. I know her so intimately, and yet I can't pin her down. And there is no final answer about her. It's not like, oh, I finally got it. I finally fully and completely know Leela. No, she blossoms. She opens. Every moment with her is completely fresh. I've never met her in this way before. Every moment I'm meeting her, it's an endless opening into greater degrees of richness. And it can be like that with every relationship, every person, every aspect of life. And that opens as soon as we begin to relinquish our fixed ideas that tell us that we already know what a thing is, and we already know what a person is, and we already know what life is. So thank you for listening. I hope that this has offered something useful for someone. Much love, much joy, primordial peace. Take it easy. Be well. Namaste. I love you.